Hey everyone. So unofficially, Chris Ash has been named the defensive coordinator at the University of Texas. They haven't said anything official yet, but I'm sure it's coming. With him, he's going to bring a 4-3 overlook. You may call it a 4-2-5 to the Texas Longhorns defense. For the purpose of this presentation, the difference between the 4-2-5 and the 4-3 over really doesn't matter. It's a four-man even front with an over slide, which means you have a tackle in a 3 technique, an end in a 5 or a 7 or even a 9, and another end in a 5, and a nose in a 1 or a 0 shade on the center. So today I want to talk about how this alignment is going to cause problems in pass protection for the offense. Creating a pass rush is something the Longhorns have struggled with so far in 2019. Before we get into that, we need to talk about the different pass protections and how they work. So first we're going to talk about slide protection, then we'll get into big on big protection. I'm only going to talk about different problems this creates with big on big protection today, but it creates the same issues with slide protection. So slide protection, everybody is going to slide over one gap. I'm not going to talk about the tight end. If he were to max protect, he would be sliding a gap, but we're not going to talk about him today. So the tackle is going to block outside or C gap. The guard will take care of B gap. The center will take care of play side A gap. This guard is going to take care of backside A gap. And the F back is going to fill backside B gap because you don't want the tackle to step over and have that F back blocking an end. That's a mismatch in favor of the defense. So the tackle will block C gap. If this end does come down, either the tackle will go with him and collapse him down and allow that end to work, the F back to work back outside and block the potential blitzing linebacker, or the F back's going to have to take on this end and the tackle will slide over and take the blitzing linebacker. And that's really a matter of preference for the offense. So now we're going to talk about big on big protection. What big on big means is basically the linemen are going to block linemen. Tackle on the end, guard on the tackle. So the quarterback or the center, it's different for each team, is going to name a Mike linebacker. In this case, our Mike linebacker will be the Mike linebacker. They don't have the option of trying to combo block with the will because he could come to a lot of different places that would create problems for the center and guard. So the center and guard are going to combo the nose and the Mike linebacker. So if the Mike linebacker blitzes, either the center will peel off if he comes towards A gap, or the guard will peel off if he comes towards B gap. And then the tackle will block the end. This F back will now take responsibility for the remaining linebacker, and the Sam linebacker will be a hot read. So if this Sam linebacker blitzes, the quarterback is responsible for him. And there will be a hot route called that the quarterback will use anytime that Sam linebacker blitzes. Some teams will also assign this F back dual responsibility, and he's going to look to see who blitzes, take the inside man first. But we're not going to talk about that here. So let's talk about the one-on-one matchups created by this alignment. We'll start with the tackle. The tackle is going to try and come and collision the guard, get a piece of him, and come tight off his outside hip. And really what that's doing is that's isolating the guard from this end. The guard cannot help out here. Even if they were in slide protection, he's locked onto this tackle. There's not much else he can do. Additionally, if I can create outside leverage on this guard and beat him, I can get a pretty decent bull rush on the quarterback. The nose is going to collision the center and try to do the same thing, beat him through A gap. If they double team him, he's just going to continue to fight, but he doesn't want to get too far outside. He's going to stay right here in the middle and try to plug that middle up. These two ends have a good matchup on these tackles with speed. One thing that really gives them the advantage is they have a natural motion of rushing to the outside. This tackle is trying to block an end with his back to the quarterback, and that is an unnatural movement. It's a movement that's very, very difficult to perform efficiently. So if these ends have speed, they can make it very difficult for that tackle to block them. Another benefit of having the ends outside as they are is that they create an outside contain for the quarterback, so he cannot run outside of the pocket and escape like we've seen a quarterback do so many times against Texas in recent history. You're trying to force him to step up into the pocket where this tackle and this nose who are waiting in the middle of the field can take care of him. And then in the event you have 3 linebackers in coverage, the linebackers can step up and help as well. So it really creates some difficult one-on-one matchups for the offense, especially with this tackle and the guard. Hopefully that tackle maybe has a little bit more quickness than the guard and can beat him with a quick move. And then these 2 ends, you're really using your speed to beat these offensive linemen on the pass rush. And here's kind of what it looks like. And you can see here they're really focused on keeping the quarterback in the pocket, but they're also focused on making those offensive players give ground in order to collapse that pocket using their speed. So I want to talk about a stunt that Chris Ash will use to take advantage of the guard's footwork using the tackle and nose. I call it the Nat stunt, nose and tackle. And we're still only bringing 4 men. We still have our full complement of coverages available to us. But basically what we're trying to do is the guard play side is going to step here trying to block this tackle. So we're going to take this tackle and we're going to bring him across the face of the guard and try and get this guard stepping one way and then having to change direction and come back the other way, creating a bit of pass rush up the middle. We're also going to step across the face of this guard and come into B gap with the nose. Once again, it's the Nat stunt, nose and tackle. So as this guard steps towards A gap to block the nose is going to make a quick move and the guard will have to come back and occupy that nose. We're still bringing the ends on the outside, so the tackles are man-to-man on those ends. And with that stunt, we can do a couple of different things. As this center goes to block the nose, the nose can distract the center a little bit, and we can actually bring the Mike linebacker off the nose's rear and try and find some space up the middle. We can also bring the will into this B gap here, and it becomes very difficult for the F to get across through here if the tackle can get any penetration. The F can't get to the will to block him, so you can get pressure there. So let's look at this Nat stunt and how it looks in motion. And you can see there that F can't get through to B gap to block the will if he were to come. Additionally, it's very difficult for the guard and center to execute that block, especially if we bring an extra man there. And here's the Nat stunt with a will blitz. I call this Nat will loop. You can call it whatever you want, but basically we're going to bring the will along with that Nat stunt. The will come into play side B gap. And you see once again the F can't get there. Very difficult for the guard and center to make that combo block with the nose taking the route he's taking to get into the backfield. And we still have the ends outside to contain the quarterback, bringing pressure right up the middle. So another stunt that I'll use, or that Chris Ash will use in this look, is to reduce the end. I used this stunt quite frequently when I was the offensive coordinator at Quinebaug Valley in 2011 because I would bring my Sam linebacker outside to help in coverage with this H-back. I called this the anchor in my defense. This was the A. This was just an Andy stunt. Andy just meant anchor would go into B gap. I would do that all the time. So in combination with that stunt, I can bring the Sam linebacker off the edge, and now I'll basically play quarters on the play side with this safety matching up and this cornerback matching up with the 2 receivers to this side. I still have my 2 linebackers in the middle of the field, and then I have quarters coverage here as well. So if anybody runs any middle breaking routes, the linebackers will take that away. If they run anything to the outside or vertical, the safeties and cornerbacks take that. Once again, this F is coming to block the will, and we're relying on this Mike linebacker to take away whatever hot route the quarterback's going to try and read with this Sam blitz. So here's what that looks like. As you can see here, I've drawn this will showing blitz. I really want to make sure that they're going to pay attention to that will and try and block him, take their eyes away from this end and Sam running their stunt. So there you have it. There's a few things that Texas will do to create some pass rush. I really feel like they create mismatches out of this alignment, create some problems for the offensive line and for that running back that's going to be in pass protection. It gives them a good chance to really create some pressure with 4 or 5 men rushing and still stay solid in coverage. Thank you for watching, and hook 'em horns.